But anyway, let's go here and just wrap this around. So, if you got a nice thing about the stranded wire is that it'll flatten out, so you can wrap it on your tree pretty tightly, so it won't bulk it up too much. So that's a nice thing about the stranded wire. So we go and give it a shot of the Elmer's crazy glue. Elmer's wouldn't work on this, and that should hold this nicely, real nicely, to this Woodland Scenics tree here. So I'm going to put one on one side and put another one on the other side, maybe a little bit further up here. Make a little enhancement. So it may not be ideally what you're looking for, but it'll definitely make some improvements to this stock Woodland Scenics tree. I'm fairly confident it will. And it takes a little bit of practice trying to get this thing to wrap nicely, and what you may want to do is make life easier for yourself. You got too many branches in the way, start wrapping it a little bit further up here where you're not in the way. I can shove it back a little bit, move it back and forth, see that? So you can start wrapping it up top and then slide it back, or slide it to wherever you want. Okay, I wanted that about there. You know, I don't know what the proportions are for mixing all this stuff together, how much plaster I need. So I'm going to go with a rule of thumb that it should be 50% plaster and 50% glue. We'll try that, and then a little drop of acrylic paint. So I think that's the rule of thumb I'll go with. Got about, you know, that much plaster. Let me put a little glue on top, a little drop of paint like that, one drop of that, and make it 2 or 3 drops, why not? That's about as brown as I got it, so we'll try it this way, see what happens. Get my handles off. And clip this, yeah, clip this off about right there. It's a little bit too tall. Alright, I'm going to start spreading this around. I think this will work a lot better. Looks a lot more, it'll be a lot more fuller, I think. So I'm not doing anything fancy here as far as making any complex branches. You can get really fancy if you want. You can buy a smaller gauge stranded wire. This is a 18 gauge stranded wire you can get at a hardware store, but if you were to, I think if you were to buy like 20 or 22 gauge, the wire strands might be finer, so you could use coarser strands for some of the main leaders, and then finer strands for some of the smaller branches and stuff like that. It depends on basically what your tastes are and how much work you want to put into this. I'm just looking for this to be a bit more functional than fancy. So let's spread these out. I've just mixed together a batch of this goop. It's like 50% plaster Paris, 50% Elmer's glue, a couple of drops of paint. And based on the article I'm read about this method, you don't need a lot of paint because this stuff will dry fairly dark. So now right now I'm taking this stuff and putting it on the wire, basically making my bark. So